Former Botswana president steps down as chairperson of Commonwealth Observer in the August general elections. And Kenya Kwanza comes in Kirinyaga County, while Azimio takes its home stretch campaigns in Kakamega County. Kenya settles for silver and bronze in the men's 10,000 meters in the ongoing Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. I'm Bentura Komboka, and our sign language interpreter for today is Vivian Wangeshi. President Uhuru Kenyatta is on his final countrywide tour, commissioning new projects a few weeks before leaving office. Today, His Excellency was in Kisii and Nyamira counties, where he held a series of meetings with Abagusi community leaders. Kenyatta thanked the community leaders for their cooperation in the mission towards implementing various projects throughout the region. Listen in.
Tusimame tumkaribishe Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya.
President Uhuru Kenyatta, while touring Kisii and Nyamira counties, hosted various Abagusi community leaders led by Interior CS Fred Matiang'i and Governors James Ongwae of Kisii and Amos Nyaribo of Nyamira at the Kisii State Lodge, where they discussed a wide range of subjects, among them the progress of government development projects, as well as the region's political choices in the next week's elections. The president stated that development is a continuous process, emphasizing that all shareholders have a role to play in promoting development countrywide.
Development, the life of a nation, is a continuous process. It is not a process of starting and stopping. It is a continuous process. But the most important thing is that it must be a process where people move together.
The president also commended the leaders of the region for cooperating during his tenure, as well as their hard work that ensured that all government development projects were undertaken without drawbacks.
Imekuwa furaha yangu kufanya kazi pamoja nanyi. Na tumeweza kuyatimiza yale ambayo tumeweza kuyatimiza. Toka upande ya mabarabara, najua kutoka yale pahali tulianza mpaka pahali sasa tuaishia, tumeweza kuongeza karibu kilomita 200 kilometers ya barabara za lami katika kaunti hizi mbili.
The president went on to categorically state that every Kenyan has rights and should be respected regardless of their ethnicity or social status.
Kuna kabila moja peke yake ina uwezo wa kusongesha taifa mbele. The country belongs to every citizen, regardless of where he or she comes from. They must be equally regarded and respected.
Interior CS Fred Matiang'i thanked the president for appointing him, as well as entrusting him with many important responsibilities over the years, assuring him that he and other leaders will continue putting effort to fulfill their responsibilities well.
Mimi tu leo mbele ya hao watu, because this is home, Your Excellency, is to say thank you. Asante sana. I may not have been the most deserving. I wasn't in any way special, but you trusted me and gave me a job, and it has been an experience of my life. And on this, I speak on behalf of many of our senior civil servants who have worked for you.
With only 5 days left to the general elections, Kenyans have been implored to maintain peace and ensure that they vote in leaders who have their best interests at heart. Irongo Kagoda, KUTV, Nairobi.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, now says it has distributed 60% of voting materials across 35 counties. IEBC further said that presidential ballot papers are expected to be distributed by 5th of August before the 9th general elections. Evans Ouma with more on that story.
As clock ticks and election draws closer, the Independent Electoral and Boundary Commission of Kenya, IEBC, is in its final stage of preparation.
As we are talking today, most of, or 90% of non-strategic materials, that is ballot boxes and all those other materials, 90% of them have already been distributed to the various constituencies in the country.
So far, the Commission has distributed 364 ballots for gubernatorial seat, 368 for Senate, 439 for members of parliament across 35 counties, constituting 60% of ballot papers and essential voting materials to different parts of the country since the process began on 1st of August. Non-strategic materials have been distributed to constituencies, with presidential ballot papers expected to be distributed by Friday before voting kick-off on 9th of August this year. IEBC is working hand in hand with security apparatus to ensure the security of voting materials and voters, especially in areas prone to insecurity.
We have trained these officers and we cannot do this work alone. The officers we require are those who will be within the polling station and the marked area. But remember, the government also has to see security outside the marked area of the polling station.
IEBC further warned politicians against making inflammatory remarks that could tear down the country as political temperature continue to rise.
As a communication department of IEBC, we monitor what is being thrown in the social media and we classify them accordingly. So some of those clips needs to be investigated, and that is it. So for now, I don't have more information about that clip for Junet, but indeed, as IEBC, we flag out everything that is being thrown on social media.
With only 5 days remaining before Kenyans march to the ballot to make their voice heard, IEBC is racing against time to beat the stipulated deadline. Auma Evans for KUTV, Nairobi.
And away from that, 3 legislatures from Siaya County have called on security agencies to summon and interrogate Deputy President William Ruto over the leaflets that are allegedly threatening certain communities in Uasin Gishu County, saying the DP's utterances have the potential to cause panic and animosity among the people living in that cosmopolitan town. Daphne Orina with the insights.
On August 1st this year, Deputy President William Ruto, while on a campaign trail in the Northwest region, outrightly called on President Uhuru Kenyatta to rein in officials of the Office of the President for engaging in what he termed as scaremongering in the Rift Valley region, claiming that officials on the top in national intelligence were at the center of hate leaflets in the region to foment chaos and violence to trigger low voter turnout.
And I want to tell the characters at the office of the president, the evil people who are planning day and night evil against this country. They want to split communities. They want to cause disharmony. We want to tell the characters at the office of the president, shame on you. You will not succeed in...
Those utterances have now invited outreach from various leaders in Siaya County who have accused DP Ruto of casting aspersion on the presidency and other security agencies, adding that he must be made to prove his allegations or face the law.
Ruto's claim that those leaflets are being circulated by the NIS, the National Intelligence Service, is not only unfortunate, but extremely dangerous.
Obengo, who is vying for Siaya gubernatorial seat during next week's general elections, said that the outburst by Ruto and his running mate Rigathi Gachagua were as a result of the realization that Kenyans were ready for the Raila Odinga and Martha Karua's presidency during next week's polls.
Na tunasema kwamba Ruto amekataa kumheshimu rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya ambaye ni kiongozi wake.
Calling upon the National Coalition and Integration Commission to forthwith arrest the Deputy President of William Samuel Ruto. I want that man from Nyeri to be arrested this week, because you cannot cast aspersion to the presidency, which is a symbol of our national unity.
On the other hand, Opiyo Wandayi accused Ruto of dragging the National Intelligence Service in his political wars and called on the Directorate of Criminal Investigations to urgently summon and interrogate the Deputy President about the outrageous claims.
In fact, those outbursts by Ruto about the NIS cannot be ignored. As a matter of fact, we are demanding that the DCI moves with speed to summon William Ruto to record a statement about those outrageous claims.
The reported emergence of leaflets threatening some communities in the Rift Valley has seen the security agencies arrest 8 suspects, with the Cabinet Secretary for Interior Dr. Matiang'i assuring Kenyans that all those involved will be brought to book. Daphne Rinda for KUTV, Nairobi.
And moving on, former Botswana President Festus Mogae has withdrawn as chairperson of Commonwealth Observer Group overseeing Kenya's August 9th elections. In a statement released to the press, Mogae, who headed the 20-member group, which was announced last month by Commonwealth Secretary General Patricia Scotland, stepped down due to what the Observers Group called unforeseen circumstances and has been immediately replaced by former Jamaican Prime Minister Bruce Golding. And Information, Communication and Technology Cabinet Secretary Joy Mushero has assured the country that the government has no plans of shutting down the internet during the August 9th elections. Speaking during a breakfast meeting with Kenya Editors Guild, the CS reiterated that the government will uphold democracy at all times and not silence anyone, and added they will be collaborating with the Ministry of Interior to ensure that communications are not disrupted, especially in tallying centers.
For those of you who think we have the password, we don't. Servers are firmly with the IBC and they're the ones managing. Last election, we were at about 78% 3G coverage. Now that coverage has significantly increased. We are at over 96.4%, and this is measured through the Communications Authority. And really, I want to thank the MNOs, the mobile network operators, for taking time to really roll out the services for us, not just for elections, but for usage across the country. There's also ensuring that we have the good quality of service for all the services that are being provided, whether it is sending messages, whether it is ensuring that it's available throughout. We also want to ensure that people are not hacking and sending messages from people, and that the whole process is managed well. So
as he drummed up support for the Azimio One Kenya flag bearer Raila Odinga, President Uhuru Kenyatta broke down a series of reasons that saw the fallout between him and his deputy Dr. William Ruto. The head of state made the reveal in Kisii County, where he also urged residents to maintain peace and make wise decisions on the 9th.
Hata kama tulikuwa tumekubaliana ati tutabadilishana pale mbele, hapa hakuna kitu tutabadilishana, kwa sababu tutafika pale mwisho, hata gari yenyewe itakuwa na chassis peke yake, hakuna gari ya kuata ya kupatiana. Sijui kama mnanielewa jameni. Mshenzi peke yake hawezi kubadilisha fikira. So hata mimi nimebadilisha fikira kwa sababu mimi pia sio mshenzi. Nataka huyu mzee ashinde. Huyu mzee hata shinda kama nyinyi mtagongana mpaka mtishe mwananchi aseme, ai, mimi hiyo vita siwezi, wacha nikae nyumbani. Ili moja ya kuhakikisha umefika ni kuhakikisha vile nimekuambia, timu yako sio wewe, lakini timu yako imeshinda.
The U.S. Embassy in Nairobi has issued a travel advisory urging American citizens to avoid traveling to Kisumu ahead of next Tuesday's general elections. The embassy particularly pointed out the likelihood of election-related clashes. In his response to that statement, Kisumu Governor Professor Anyang' Nyong'o said the area continues to enjoy peace and tranquility and questioned the basis for the decision by the embassy. Here is Mercy Imbida with a story. And with that story from Kisumu County, we take a short commercial break here at KUTV. Stay tuned.
KUTV, in conjunction with Kenyatta University Funeral Home, is now offering death announcements immediately following on news bulletins at 7 p.m. At this sorrowful time, as you share in your grief, allow us to communicate your announcement of your loved one on KUTV in both Kiswahili and English. For more details, kindly inquire at the KU Funeral Home Service Desk or call 0736 928 380 or dial 020 359 9054.
The percentage in which government is giving opportunities to this specific type of groups under the AGPO, like what percentage has the government given?
No, but like I said, you see, when a budget is done for every year, every ministry will be able to place their budget for it. But whatever is given to them, 30% of the budget for that ministry is dedicated to AGPO. 30%. So if let's think, for instance, that a ministry is given 2 billion, for instance. Now, 30% of 2 billion would be about 600,000? 600 million. That will be dedicated to AGPO. And therefore, when you go to a ministry, as a young person, as a person living with disability, 600 million is actually meant for you.
This is The Agenda with Bentura Komboka and Colonel Retired Cyrus Oguna.
On this episode of Technovation Show, we bring you an innovation that brings convenience to our sisters.
I decided to come up with this project where I can help girls during their menstruation period, especially girls from informal settlement who cannot afford to purchase pads. When you tap a registered RFID card, it will send a signal to the relay, then it will activate this two servo motor to release sanitary pads which are packed in these boxes.
Welcome back and on to politics. And now, ODM leader and Azimio One Kenya presidential flag bearer Raila Odinga, accompanied by his running mate Martha Karua, have held a campaign at the Bukungu Stadium in Kakamega County, where Odinga has called for peace and condemned profiling of various communities in the Rift Valley region.
As the August 9th elections continue to draw closer, the Azimio One Kenya presidential flag bearer Raila Odinga has led his team in rallying at the Bukungu Stadium, Kakamega County, where he called for peace and criticized profiling of communities in the Rift Valley region.
Kuna wengine kule bonde la ufa wameanza kutoa vitisho dhidi ya watu wengine ambao wanaishi huko kama Waluhya, Wakikuyu, Wajaluo na Wakamba na kadhalika. Ati Wakisii ati wao wataona cha mtema kuni isipopiga kwa pande hii. Tunasema haki ya Mkenya imelindwa kwa katiba. Unaweza kupiga kura bila unavyotaka.
Odinga attacked his opponents, saying voting for Kenya Kwanza is voting for corruption, as his running mate Martha Karua claimed that the shortage of unga in the shelves is attributed to corruption.
Pesa, unga imefika. Unajua ni kwa nini haijafika? Halo? Nimetaja sababu, najua mnaelewa. Haijafika sababu akisema wafisadi wako ndani na wako na msimamizi wao ambao ni naibu yake. Kwa hivyo pesa inakuja, inapigwa kona.
Karua also insisted that their team will fight corruption while urging their opponents to stop attacking President Uhuru Kenyatta. Those allied to Odinga have voted for the Raila Karua ticket for presidency. Raila sold his agenda as he promised to create more industries, improving agriculture to ensure food security, free education, and the 6,000 shillings cash transfer program to disadvantaged households. The Azimio One Kenya flag bearer Raila Odinga has called for peace as we head to the Tuesday 9th elections as he campaigned for their coalition. Mutui Eliud for KUTV.
President Dr. William Ruto has led the Kenya Kwanza vote hunt in Kirinyaga and Kiambu counties today. Ruto rallied his support to come out in large numbers on the election day to guarantee him victory. The alliance exuded confidence of winning come the election day.
With the election date drawing nearer, Deputy President William Ruto has continued his campaigns in the Mount Kenya region, where he organized a series of meetings in Kirinyaga and Kiambu counties. Ruto was accompanied by his running mate Rigathi Gachagua, Ndindi Nyoro MP for Kiharu, Kimani Ichung'wah MP for Kikuyu, and various candidates vying for different seats in the region.
Kwa sababu hawa majamaa wanajua tutawashinda tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8. They know it. They know we have won this election. That is why they are up to all these games. Opinion polls, incitement, mambo ya pamphlets, mambo ya nini. Wanapanga hiyo mambo yote kwa sababu wanajua tutawashinda tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8.
Ruto drew a punch at his main rival Raila Odinga as he accused the handshake incident, claiming that it is the source of high cost living in the country. Ruto promised that if he is elected in power, his government will lower the cost of living and create jobs for the youths.
Sisi tunawaambia Wakenya wamechanuka, tutapiga kura ya amani na tutapiga kura ya demokrasia.
The Kenya Kwanza allies took the opportunity to encourage citizens to show up in large numbers on August 9th to exercise their democratic right as they wooed them to vote in William Ruto as the 5th president, while urging them to vote in a 6-piece government for the Kenya Kwanza.
Nimekuja kuomba kura yenu. Tafadhali, naomba kura yenu. Mtatupatia kura yenu? Mtatupatia kura zenu? Hebu nione kura ya WS Arabu. Harambe! Wa Rift Valley na Wakikuyu wanakaa na amani na wanapendana. Wote wanafanya biashara hata wameoana. Na Wakikuyu wa Rift Valley na Wakalenjin na Wakisii na Wabaluya, kila mtu huko anapigia William Samoei.
Tumeona
wale tunashindana nao wameanza jama ya kutengeneza opinion polls ambazo ni fake, na tunajua wanataka next week, kwa sababu tunawashida, wanataka kuanza maneno ya kusema kimeibiwa. Tunaambia hao fake pollsters, hata mtoe polls hata parawa, next week huyo mzee tunamsafirisha.
With only 5 days left before the general elections, all the candidates are working round the clock to ensure they garner as many votes as possible come Tuesday, August 9th. Tracy Nganga, KUTV.
Now away from the political scene, police in Nakuru have apprehended the gang leader of the Nakuru-based confirmed gang, which is suspected of being behind a string of crime and murder in the region. Dixon Macharia Waithera, alias Deco, was arrested today through concentrated efforts by security teams in the region. The murders of 6 women in Nakuru County 2 months ago shone to the spotlight on the dreaded gang that rose to infamy during the tenure of former Interior Cabinet Secretary Joseph Kaiseri in 2016. The gang, which was outlawed during Kaiseri's tenure, was aptly named Confirm because of their modus operandi. They began crime by targeting mobile money users before becoming a fully fledged armed gang. Since the return of the gang, dreaded over 144 suspects have been arrested in Nakuru, with Interior CS Fred Matiang'i vowing to crack down on the suspected criminals. And on to education matters. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has apologized on behalf of the government for the early closure of schools. Speaking after launching the newly built CBC classes at Umoja Secondary School in Uasin Gishu County, Magoha said the move was to ensure early preparation for elections by IEBC.
Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha has apologized over abrupt closure of schools, saying IEBC needs access to deliver credible results following the coming 9th poll election. The short notice on school closure sparked outrage from parents and stakeholders from the learning institutions, who argued that they were not prepared for the sudden closure.
The small pain that I have caused you, I take full responsibility because I'm the one who was supposed to say it. I think the swords you have sent on me are not enough.
According to Magoha, he ordered all schools to be closed on Tuesday, August 2nd and report back on August 11th, and I quote,
And now on to sports news. Uganda continues its dominance against Kenya in the men's 10,000 meters after Uganda's Jacob Kiplimo clocked 27 minutes and 9 seconds to win gold in the ongoing Commonwealth Games in the Alexandria Stadium in Birmingham. Kenya Daniel Sibiu and World Half Marathon silver medalist Kibiwot Kandie settled for silver and bronze medals respectively, taking Kenya's medal tally to 4. And with that, we've come to the end of our bulletin here at KUTV Primetime News. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board. I'm Bintura Kwambuka, and our sign language interpreter for today has been Vivian Wangeshi. Good night.
I'm Heidi Adams, thank you so much for joining me. When Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov visited 4 African countries recently, he harkened back to Soviet-era support for Africa's fight for liberation. He sought to calm fears about the global food crisis and inflation, blaming Western sanctions and not Russia's war in Ukraine. And you might argue the optics were powerful. Old friends reaffirming long-standing ties. Is it all part of the Kremlin's global battle to win support and influence, even as a war that Russia started takes an economic toll on people across the African continent? Elizabeth Chernev narrates this report from VOA News' bureau in Moscow.
On Ukraine overshadowed a trip by Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov